What's up, YouTube? Hi, guys. It's David Chad. We're going to talk about video games. That's what they do, right? That's how they... That's what
my daughter did that one time.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Oh, did I get that on my shirt? Oh, no, it's fine. Yep. What's up, YouTube? We are Joshless this week, and we'll tell you why here shortly. Oh, yeah. That's right, Josh. All right. Audacity. Ready to go?
Oh, crap. I didn't even have it open yet.
Ah, crap. I forgot. I got to record
I don't even have it open. I'm sorry, Chad. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. So, my new boss is, he said he would put me up in I think it's a hotel until I find something. No, I think Lauren said it was, I think, the Hyatt. I think that, I mean, that's what she said, but that's what she thinks. She knows that he's put in. So if that's the case, I'll have internet Monday.
Okay.
I don't know for sure if I'm gonna have it. Okay, I'm ready to record.
Okay. A 3, a 2, a 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 127 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast for July 25th, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Viss. Joining me this week, the man with the silver tongue, Dave Mann.
Really?
So that came to mind.
Silver? What does silver mean to you, Chad?
Like, I guess...
Why not gold?
Eloquent. I don't know. So, because the silver spoon means that you're just born with the gift. You're born with that ability and natural talent.
The silver spoon, right? To me, means you're spoiled.
Well, you're welcome.
You're fed with.
Welcome to the podcast. Dave is here. I am here. Josh was not able to make it this evening. I'll tell you the reason. You ready? This is the true reason, not fabricated at all. 100% true.
What's the reason?
Josh is that he's going to see Wonder Woman, the movie. You remember we've seen that. We talked about that on an episode. He wasn't here as well. He's going to see that movie again, and he has to see it until his viewpoint of the movie is correct, and that it's a good movie. DC did a good job, and overall the movie is well done. So
wait a second.
Has to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it my understanding that you're implying that Josh did not like a movie he went to see?
That is correct. He was not a big fan of the Wonder Woman film.
Also,
he liked some things about it, but not overall. Yeah.
Is it my understanding that you're implying that Josh Owens does not like something that is a popular thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
In this particular case, yeah.
That's a little.
We gave him homework.
I mean, just to be honest.
We gave him homework. Josh, you'll check in when you get that done. He has to see Wonder Woman until his viewpoint is changed to where the movie is good. So you let us know, Josh, how that goes. That's where he is, folks. So he will not be joining us this evening. Most likely he'll be back next week. And we'll hear about what he says. So there you go. All right, well, let's get right into the podcast proper. Dave, why don't you start us off? Oh,
that's right. Intro and giveaway, number 1. Hey, everybody.
Oh, no.
It's Dave Mann over at South Dakota Gamer, where you are listening right now via podcast form or YouTube, which would not be South Dakota Gamer. It would be the South Dakota Gamer channel on YouTube. So you would be listening to us on YouTube at the South Dakota. Anyways, doesn't matter. What we're going to talk about right now is our PS4 giveaway. That's right, Josh. We're giving away a PS4. And it is very, very, very simple to win. All you got to do, well, I shouldn't say simple to win. It's simple to get a chance to win. All you got to do is put entries in. We're giving you multiple ways to enter every month, all the way up until we end the contest, probably right about, I think, a week before Black Friday, just in case people that don't win, you can go ahead and finalize your purchases if you're thinking about getting a PS4 or whatever at Black Friday. Anyways. So we've been, I think up to 3 entries a month, depending on whether or not we have a bonus entry method. Yeah, you can, as always, if you are supporting us over at patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer, even at $1 level, you will get an entry every month that you support us. Not necessary whatsoever, but if you do, it's only another 3 or 4 months until November, so that's, $4 to get a chance to win a PS4. 4 chances, actually, to get a PS4. I think it's worth it. Josh thinks it's worth it. Chad, pretty sure you think it's worth it.
Worth it.
It's almost as if you can't afford not to. But also, every month we give you different ways that you can enter. And this month has been something that is quite simple and something that recently quite a few people took advantage of. And that is suggesting a topic or just asking a question to us, whether it's on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Twitter accounts, email, Facebook message, whatever. And a lot of people have done that. I think 31st will be the last. So you've got a week to do that. You can still enter if you haven't already done that. You can submit a question or a topic, whatever, to us and get a chance to win the PS4. And then the bonus method is still live for the rest of this month. You can go over to YouTube at our channel, which is South Dakota Gamer, and watch our That's You Let's Play, where we played with 3 of our listeners, as well as myself, Chad, and Josh, and had a blast. I think it's about 2 hours long, something like that.
Yeah, pretty close.
All you got to do is go over there and drop a comment in the comment section, and you will get another entry. So this month's 3 methods of entry are what I just said. Either Patreon, comment on YouTube on that specific video, That's You, Let's Play, and support or submit a question or a topic to us. So there you go. I mean, hey, I'd be doing everything I could to win a PS4. I have a PS4. I would still love to win it just so I could either, decide to gift it to somebody or decide to take it back and get something else, whatever. The possibilities are almost limitless.
Almost.
They're not.
And you know what? Honestly,
do anything with it, but still.
Right, sure. Almost limitless. That's why I use that word. It's not like we're GameSpot or IGN or Kind of Funny, where we have a huge, massive audience, where there's thousands of entries. Just saying, guys.
Yep.
I mean, do the math. I'm not going to give you any numbers to do the math with, but you get it.
Yeah, do guesstimation math.
Yeah, do guesstimation math. Okay. That is it. Let's get into, as Dave mentioned, we got quite a few questions this week, and we're going to run through some of them here this evening. Everyone that we go through their question, or even if we didn't get to your question for whatever reason, if you submitted a question before this podcast this week, you have gained an additional entry into this PS4 giveaway. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Dave, are you familiar with PUBG? You know what I mean when I say that?
I do know what you mean. I don't think there's one in every city, but if you go down to the red light district, lots of times you'll.
I don't know. That's different. That's not. I don't know what that is. But PUBG is short for Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Now, do you know for a fact that that's how they pronounce it, PUBG, or do they say PUBG? So they say PUBG.
It's PUBG. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's interesting.
I mean, you can do PUBG if you want. It seems a little weird, but you could do it. But I'd go for PUBG. That's what they talk about. That is a game that is played on the PC right now. It is coming to the Xbox One supposedly by the end of this year. And then it will be, I'm sure, on the PlayStation 4 eventually. But it has taken Twitch and YouTube by storm. It's a phenomenon. Games don't happen like this that often. People just love it. They can't stop talking about it, can't stop playing it. And it's fun to watch. Basically what it is, it's a 100-player battle royale / Hunger Games type game. You're dropped from a cargo plane onto this island with nothing but the shirt on your back, and you have to scavenge in houses
and pants. And
sometimes some of them don't. Sometimes there are no pants, just the underwear. I mean, they're not naked. There's some briefs going on.
So wait a second. So you know this for a fact that sometimes they're dropped with underwear, but they always have a shirt.
Well, not always. Sometimes they don't have shirts either. So I guess,
Chad, that's incorrect.
Fair.
Recant it.
You're very. Let's be accurate. I was wrong, and you don't always have to wear a shirt. But you're not. You have no weapons. You have no armor, but you're dropped from this cargo plane, 100 players, and you have to scavenge through houses to find weapons, to find helmets,
another
body
question.
armor.
Can you really execute somebody with a pot?
I believe you can beat them to death with it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just wondered.
Yeah. So you land, and the goal, it's very similar to Hunger Games and Battle Royale. You have, it's the last man alive wins, and the winner gets a chicken dinner. It says winner, winner, chicken dinner if you're the last one alive. You would think it's a large map, and so you'd say, well, that's not that hard. You just got to hide, find a place in the closet or in a bathtub and just wait it out. But as time goes on, there is an area of the map, and it continues to shrink, and you have to stay within the circle. Otherwise, being on the outside of the circle will slowly kill you. So it continually will shrink that circle of player area, and everyone is forced to get to that area. And so obviously you're forced into confrontations, you're forced into gunfights and where other people are, so you can't just run to the far corners and wait it out. It's a ton of fun to watch. I've enjoyed watching a few guys play. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to playing it myself. I did check my laptop to see if I could run it. Can't. I don't have a very good computer to run that game. So
I actually should check mine. I haven't.
You should. It's $30 right now. And as I said, it's been out for just over a month. It has already sold over 5 million copies of the game. It is still in pre-release, so officially not a released game. And they're adding maps. They're adding a lot of cool things. If you get a chance to look it up, PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, awesome game. The question comes in from one Brian Seddon. And he brings up the question. He has a few PC friends, and as I mentioned earlier, the game is supposedly coming to Xbox One later this year. There has also been some talk of maybe cross-platform play, where Xbox One owners could also play with PC owners. And he wants to know, is it true? Do we feel it's true that the PC players have a huge advantage over the console players based on mouse and keyboard versus controller? What do you think, Dave? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not a PC gamer, but that is a very popular theory that is out there, and I'm sure that it can be proven on certain games that are cross-platform. I don't know, but it's a pretty popular opinion. Even the executive producer of the game has said that he feels there is an imbalance. So actually, he was saying this when he was talking about the fact that they do want to give crossplay down the road. And so they don't think that there's going to be any technical issues when doing it, but he mentioned this imbalance. So to me, that says they're not going to want, they're either going to do it like this. I think this is my prediction. They're either going to make it an option to where you can do it. And in my opinion, there is going to be a Xbox player or a console player that is going to win in those matches at some point. Sure. And that will be, huge bragging rights or whatever for all the PC people. They're like, oh, we're so much better than, I don't think that's going to be a very, an everyday thing that's happening. But that said, if they make it an option, I can see that being fine. Otherwise, they're going to have to wait to roll it out until they figured out a way to balance it. I don't know what they're, smarter people than me work on those kind of things. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think that is a very real issue.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah, it seems that, the accuracy and the pinpoint accuracy of a mouse versus a controller is, I think, pretty apparent. One thing I did hear that they would probably use some form of aim assist or something when it comes to the console players, which may give them a little bit more of a chance. But yeah, if they bring that over in a game like that, it's not like playing Rocket League, cross-platform, where it's not pinpoint accuracy that's needed. But in this game, it's needed a lot. A headshot versus a couple of body shots can mean, life or death. And if you die in any of these matches, your game is over. There is no respawning.
Or leave. The thing is that you're going to have, if they do it via making it balanced, you're going to have people on the PC side that are going to be like, oh yeah, you're not really beating us because but at the same time, you got people on the Xbox side that are going to be saying, well, you have an advantage on us.
Sure.
It's not because you're just better. You have an advantage via the hardware you're using. So
right. Yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll keep the player base large. If you got 5 million PC players and say it sells 5 million on the Xbox immediately, to have 10 million available people to play with versus 5, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So Good question, Brian. Thank you. Hopefully that answers the question. I would still say get it on the Xbox because there's no doubt, like you mentioned, they're going to give you an option. If you don't want to play cross-platform, they're not going to force that because that would just be there's no help. That would be miserable.
Right, especially if can you imagine if they rolled it out at launch too like that? Xbox players wouldn't stick around. It would tank.
Yeah, no, it would be you'd get murdered every time and it'd be bad. So I'm sure there will be an option.
The same thing would happen if they had it where they weren't doing it for like 3 months. Everybody loved it, and then all of a sudden the game changes. So I can't imagine it.
There'll be an option.
Yeah,
there will be. It has to be. So, all right, good question. Next, from Hunter Grady, he wants us to talk about the shelf life, maybe replayability, the way it lasts of a modern games versus the old school games. What do you think? Do you think modern day games have that replayability, have that shelf like a Link to the Past?
No.
We have a lot of nostalgia for games like that, for Mario's, and we can go back and have fun with those. Do modern games also have that kind of replayability?
I do not think so. I would not say
in any case, or just that.
Well, see, the thing about saying it in any case is really time will tell. You can't really say. But here's the thing: when a lot of in our modern day gaming, a lot of these games are made to only last us until the next one. All of the sports games are like that. So none of the sports games are like you don't think about, oh, this is a classic sports game. When you think about some of the classic ones on like Super Nintendo, or not that I was a big sports player, but I remember some of those things that came out and games that were just fun that you just don't have now. I think of Wayne Gretzky's, I can't remember the actual name of it, but that hockey game was awesome. And the announcers they had on it was awesome. NBA Jam, the original NBA Jam when it came out, incredible. Everybody loved that. But then when you think about games like my favorite game that's a modern game is The Last of Us. That game right now, I mean, it's got a remastered version. I've played it through several times, 7 to 8 times at least. And I love that game. Can't wait for the second one to come out. Probably another 2 years, I think, at least before it's out. Who knows how that's gonna hold up in 20 years. It just depends on the technology. Right. The reason that those other games hold up, like the classic games as we call them, is because they were so simple. They're so basic. Just those platformer games where you jump to like N64 and you move to polygonal and everything. Like you try to play some of those games even now, and it's like it just doesn't work. Like that's just
it's rough.
Yeah, it's not playable. That was before we had dual analog sticks. It just was very strange. So then you go back to like Super Mario World, or even the NES games, any of the Super Mario or NES games. Those are always going to be the same. They're platformers. They're basic. You can pick them up. You could toss anybody a controller. They get the concept real quick, and you can enjoy yourself. And even though the graphics, I mean, are not anywhere close to what they are today, it's just considered retro. I mean, will those games still be like that in another 10, 20 years? I think those games will. Because those games are always going to be in that era of this was the golden age of video gaming when it really catapulted into the next generation. I think those games are always going to have a special place. Whereas, games like today, we're going to, Far Cry games. I mean, unless we're playing new Far Cry games in 20 years, I don't think we're going to be, oh man, let's go back and play Far Cry, or not. I mean, and I love the Far Cry games. I'm looking forward to playing the next one that's coming out. Same thing with Uncharted. I mean, Uncharted is a series that seemingly has ended, other than the new thing that's coming out. Who knows what they're going to do with that? But they've ended the story of Drake, is what they've said. Could they keep making those games? Absolutely. Those games, I mean, I imagine you can keep making them until they stop selling. But what's our technology going to be in 20 years? You can't really answer that.
Yeah.
As far as hard to know. Yeah, as far as answering it in 2017, my answer is a definite no. Because
I agree. I think the shelf life of current games is a lot shorter than the shelf life of games in the 90s, for sure. And I think the newer we get, or the more advanced we get as Dave mentions, we continue to get new iterations of the games that we're already getting quicker. So whether it's Far Cry, whether it's Uncharted, whether it's Assassin's Creed, to go back and try to play Assassin's Creed 1 after playing Assassin's Creed Origins, which comes out here in October, it would be a nightmare. It'd be really difficult to do that. But you could go back to, like you were mentioning, Mario or Zelda.
Oh, yeah, whereas the same example, you could play Super Mario Odyssey in a few months, absolutely love it. Go back and play Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, still absolutely love it.
Still enjoy that. Yeah. So, yeah, I think shelf life is definitely shortening the further into the future we get and the more modern we are. I don't think, for many reasons, some of which we've already discussed. So, yeah. Good question, Hunter. Thank you for that. Next question, real short. I don't think you need to spend a lot of time here. From Caitlin. She says, when is Chad going to finish? Great question, Caitlin. Next, from Aaron. We have a
come on.
I don't know. You know what, Chad? I would like to, honestly. I would like to finish it to say that I did it.
Now, let me say this.
Does it have to be streamed?
By finish it, you mean play the remaining, like, 3/4 of the game, because you didn't play very much. I don't even know if 3/4 is accurate. You
got to the big room.
You made it to where you dealt with Big Daddy. What was his name? Immortal Jack, I think.
That was his name.
I think so. And you messed around with the car, and then you passed that point, right?
Yeah, I got to the big room where the
there was you have to do that for things. The shotgun. You didn't get the shotgun, did you?
No, it's I see it.
So you still
have not got it.
That's like the big chapter you deal with him. Then there's a big chapter where you deal with the mother. Then there's a big chapter where you deal with the son. Then there's the chapter after that that kind of wraps up everything. So, yeah,
I would like to do it. Does it have to be done streamed? Like, do I have to play through everything in the entirety live?
I think you do, Chad. I think even if this takes 2 years to do in segments, it needs to be documented and put on YouTube.
It would have to be. It'd have to be planned. That's the thing. For me, for gaming, there's not a lot of time where I'm able to game just on my own. If it is, it's late at night, but I have to kind of plan ahead to do that. Mondays tend to be the game night or I game because we do this podcast immediately after. We usually play games. That's when we did the That's You stream last week. So I can definitely do it. It just will have to be planned, and we can definitely plan to do that. I would like to, honestly. I would like to just say I got through it. Beside the fact of feeling dumb because I'm terrified, which maybe I played that up a little bit. Playing a game like that I've really never played, and the puzzles and the things that are there, I feel real dumb playing it. When like the car scene, you're like, get out of the car. I'm like, what? I don't know what to do. And knowing everyone's watching you and they've already played it.
Now, listeners, I have a suggestion. You can take it or leave it, but I'm just saying, if we all pitch in $5 here, $10 there, whatever, and we get Chad a PlayStation VR, that would be the way to watch him play
like that.
Resident Evil 7.
A good way to kill me. Like literally,
I could
have a heart attack.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna play this in a regular version because it was like taking me like 5 minutes to walk through doorways.
VR. No, I can't do it in controller. I will sit further away from the TV next time. I tell you that. All right, so good question, Caitlin. I thought we were friends. Next, from Erin Hansen, she says, "Did anybody get a chance to actually pre-order a mini SNES?"
Wow, Erin, it's funny you asked that.
Yes, we have a little story, honestly, about this. What day? Let's see. What day was it? Was it Friday night? It was Friday night.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Possibly.
So. It's like 10:45, almost 11 o'clock, and I'm laying in bed and I'm starting to fall asleep, but I'm still on my phone. And all of a sudden I see this GameSpot GameSpot article on Facebook. And it says, pre-orders up at Walmart.com for the Mini S or the SNES Classic. And I'm like, what? So I click on it, and sure enough, it says it's available. I hit the button to go to the website, the Walmart website, and my wife was falling asleep, almost all the way asleep at this point. It's like 11 o'clock. I click the button. It goes to the Walmart website. It says add to cart. I'm like, so I quietly slither out of bed, go, because I'm like, I gotta go get my card. I gotta go get my check card. I'm doing this. So I quietly get out of bed. I sneak downstairs. I find my wallet. I start going, and it's like sign into Walmart. I'm like, crap. do I have a Walmart account? And because I know time is of the essence.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't texted anyone yet to tell them this is there. But like, crap, I got to do this. So I go, I think, I have to sign up for an account. So I go to put in my email. They're like, an account already exists with this email. I'm like, crap, I already have one. What's my password? If only Dave were here, he would know my password.
I have them all in a book.
So I guessed my password, and it was correct. And it signed me in, and it still said add to cart. I'm like, okay. So I hit add to cart. It went there. It actually, I must have bought some on Walmart.com before because it had my credit card information saved.
Nice.
So I just went purchase, and it processed, boom, went through, and pop, comes out. Here's your confirmation number. You have it. This is when it's expected. You can pick it up at your local Walmart. As soon as I did that, I'm like, sweet. So I go back to the GameSpot article. I copy the link, and I send a text to Dave and to Josh and to Isaac. And it goes, or I think I sent it to you first, actually, individually. And then I send it to the group. And immediately Josh goes, nope. Like, that's all he says, nope. I'm like, what? What is that about? And shortly after, Dave says, got mine. Isaac, we never heard from him. So I don't, it's Isaac. And so, yeah, so I was able to procure an SNES Classic pre-order, as was Dave.
Yes, all of the suspense I was going to build up is not needed. Chad, once again, has stolen my thunder and not.
Right. It's my story.
It's my story. My side of the story. You told your story and then also told mine.
Because I told them that I do that. I did do that again.
Yes.
I'm like, and then Dave got it too.
Yes.
That's all Dave's side. He just gets that. We don't get to see his perspective, where he was sleeping and I woke him up.
No, I was not. I was wide awake. I was wide awake, and I jumped on the Walmart.com and found it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's still here. And I realized I had to sign in. So I signed in with, I know what email I use, and I'm like, I can't remember my password. I'm just going to guess. Also got it right. And my stuff was also saved because I purchased stuff on there before. So I hurried up and did it, got my confirmation. I honestly couldn't believe it. Like, I thought,
same here.
I thought, well, he sent it to me. It's not going to be, it's not going to be live.
Too late.
It's going to be already done. It was like later that night, I think, sold out.
Oh, less than 10 minutes after I sent it to you, because I sent it to my brother as well after I sent it to you guys. And he's like, oh, really? Are you going to get one? Like, it took him a little bit to text me back. I texted him, like, yeah, I already got one. And he went, and then like a couple minutes later, he's like, oh, they're already gone. Yeah. And it had crashed the site or whatever. Then a report came out like the next day saying, well, actually, Walmart wasn't supposed to do that. It actually went up early. It was accidental. They weren't meaning to put the pre-orders up live that quickly because they're the only site in the U.S. that did. And a bunch of people were getting cancellations, like a bunch. And so I had checked my email all weekend, and I checked my account today and yesterday, and mine's still pending, or it says processing. The date, though, is October 5th. Which I think the mini SNES comes out on the 29th of September. So it's like a week later for whatever reason. But it's still there. It hasn't been canceled.
Yeah, do you anticipate that happening?
At this point, no. I think that if it would have, it would have happened by now, just by hearing and seeing other people's getting canceled.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that this time.
I would really hope so too, because I was pretty excited about that. And as a matter of fact, since you're kind of like making me nervous here, so jumping back into my order summary on Walmart, it looks as if, let's see here. Let's see. This is real time, folks. Going to see exactly if my thing, it says that I can request a cancellation.
Yeah, mine has said that the whole time too.
Because my mine is still processing. Mine's processing. Arrives by October 6th, mine says.
Good. Interesting. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on that. If we get canceled, we'll burn Walmart down. Not sure. We won't do that.
I will not be happy. I mean, no. This is not the time to not cancel it and then cancel it later after other opportunities to pre-order have come and gone.
Yeah, very true.
So.
All right. Well, it would have been nice to have Josh here to kind of give his take. If you recall, I don't remember if he's said outright he's boycotting all Nintendo products, but he's almost said he's not. Yeah. So obviously he is refusing to give Nintendo money.
Just a second, Chad, because as you know, I am not one to let the facts slip by. So let me read you exactly
what was said. Are you serious?
About this.
All right.
Friday, 11:02 p.m. Central Standard Time. All caps. Go to Walmart.com right now for SNES pre-order. Nope. And then I was actually texting Josh to say, nope, as in it's not available, or nope, as in you're not doing it. But he sent not doing it before I even sent that. And then he says, I'm not doing it. Nintendo isn't getting my money.
Right.
So to me, that's a boycott.
Well, I think he has actually said that on the podcast too, like around the time of the NES Classic or the Switch or somewhere in there. So he is saying, if I recall, he's saying he'll buy a used version of something, but he won't buy something where Nintendo gets his money, but he'll give his money to other places. But yeah, I mean, those are his thoughts. Those are his feelings. He's more likely to, or welcome to have those and not have an SNES Classic, and that's fine. So we got ours coming.
I mean, for the record,
keep your eyes out.
For the record, Josh hasn't bought a console since the PS3, as far as I know.
Oh.
I could be wrong. He might not have bought his PS3 either.
Oh, wow. All right, next question.
I don't know.
Thank you, Aaron, for that one. Next question. This comes from Aaron Swain. Aaron says, what titles do we, as a South Dakota Gamer Podcast host, recommend during the slow period of summer? Any new releases worth playing at the moment? There's a couple I have. This is a great time to catch up on that backlog, one. So if you have a backlog, we talked about that last week, having the backlog that Evan was, or who was it that was really interested in?
All of them. All of the
the density. All the steals want to know the density of our backlogs. So this is a great time to catch up on those games. You got a big game you just haven't gotten through, do it now. But there are a few good ones that are still out, even in the summertime. We've talked a lot about Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Not real high in my list because I'm not real good at it, but it's fun to play with friends, so that's definitely a recommendation. Splatoon 2 just came out this past Friday. If you have a Switch and you like Splatoon 2 is the way to go. One of mine is Nex Machina. I talked about that. Fun, awesome, fast-paced arcade shooter, top-down twin-stick game. I highly recommend that. So there are things to play. Dave, you have any recommendations?
Yeah, Aaron, you've heard me talk about it on the other episodes, but Prey was a great surprise for me this year. I highly recommend it, especially if you liked BioShock, if you liked the Dishonored games, if you liked, really, well, those two games mainly. But I really liked it. I actually want to go back in and play it again, but I've just got so much stuff I got to do. Like, specifically, my backlog, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'm looking at Shadow of Mordor again because Shadow of War is coming out, and I really want to play that. I just got done. We'll talk about this later, but I just got done playing through Until Dawn again because that was a PS Plus free game download for this month. There's just lots of stuff. You can always be looking on the PlayStation Store. I know him specifically is talking about a PlayStation. You can always be looking at the PlayStation Store. There's always great deals going on. You can buy a lot of digital stuff for cheap. I mean, we're talking like $5, $10, less than that, or whatever. Great games. Things to hold you over until the next big release. But I keep coming home and I'm like, well, what I'm gonna play, I don't know, because I'm in this mode, or I'm like a habitual mode. I was gonna say habitual habit, which doesn't make sense. I guess it does. It's just redundant. But the habit of what new game am I gonna play? But I have all these other games that aren't necessarily new that I haven't even touched. Some of them that I have touched and I just love them so much and I gladly play them again. And then there's always a lot of those multiplayer games that are, if you got even one friend that's willing to play, you can spend a lot of time doing that too. So, but definitely I would recommend looking at Prey if you've not done that yet. It is a good one.
All right, next from Zach Estep. Zach says, do we have to accept that games will die? He says, I feel like I have a few games that were great when everyone was playing them online. Now they're ghost towns. So they sit useless. It makes me not want to spend $60 on something that will be useless in a year or until the next one comes out.
Well, Zach, unfortunately for a lot of those online games, that's exactly what they are, is a $60 purchase until the next one comes out in a year. Specifically, the heavy hitters like Battlefield and Call of Duty. even the sports games. You got FIFA, you got Madden, 2K, whatever year it is for basketball. Those games are really, it comes down to just who you're playing with, in my opinion. Chad and I used to have a core gamers that we played with or core buddies or whatever on Xbox. And we played mainly through Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare, I guess it would have been Battlefield before Modern Warfare 3, and then Modern Warfare 3, and then not Battlefield. I meant to say
Black Ops.
Yeah, Black Ops. And then Black Ops 2. I actually didn't even realize it. We played through a lot of that was 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Where we played pretty consistently every week. And then
sometimes twice a week.
Yeah, and then as they kind of left the classic style and went towards double jumping and jetpacks and all that stuff, I'm just chalking it up to that. We kind of fell off because it just wasn't as much our style anymore. But that was really the only game that we all played together, with the exception of maybe one or two of us would play other stuff as well. But it really comes down to your friends. I mean, does that mean those games aren't worth the money? No, not to me, but it comes down to what's worth it to you. So if you don't have people that you're going to be playing with, then there's not really any point to buy those games in particularly. If I don't know what, I don't have a list of games that you specifically were referring to, but if you're talking about Call of Duty, for example, they did come out recently with the Modern Warfare remastered standalone, if you didn't get it with Infinite Warfare, which that's a fun thing to go back to, even if you don't have friends to play. I think that's something that's worth it. I do hate that they charged $40 for it, though, because it was only $20 when it was attached to the game when it first came out. But I mean, what do you think, Chad? I kind of rambled on a little bit, but
no, I agree. It's the big part about online games specifically is your friends, playing with your friends, and once that interest dies off with a handful of them or one or two of them, and then the group kind of dissolves because of that, obviously you lose a lot of the interest. I don't know what games you're referring to that are ghost towns now when you go online. Like the current Battlefront, that came out. It's been a long time, and the new one's coming out this winter. Carter, my son, plays all the time, and he never has a hard time finding matches.
Well, here's the Yeah, I was going to interject on this too. It really depends on, like, when you say ghost town, do you mean like because my friends aren't ever playing it anymore?
That's what I assume he's kind of referring to.
There's a trap that I think a lot of people fall into, and me included, is you get into this groove where you only play with the people that are on your friends list, but you have access to literally millions of people. And if you really are just looking to play the game, if you want to do a little bit of legwork, there are communities online. You can, even on PlayStation or Xbox, you can find different groups of people that are looking for people to play these games, and you can go online, you can find all this stuff and look for people. There's always people that are playing. So I mean, even the games that are generally considered, oh, this game's dead, like I've heard that being said about what's the Tom Clancy game? I can't think of the name for some reason.
The Wildlands?
Yeah, Wildlands. I've heard that referred to as it's dead now, but I guarantee you there's still millions of people playing it all the time.
Yeah, it's still one of the top selling games monthly,
and that has
selling more than GTA.
Right, and that, and along with several other games, have matchmaking in it to where you don't have to have anybody on your friends list. You can just request to find somebody. You don't like that party, you can go to the next one. And a lot of times that's how people.
But I do.
What?
Sorry, I would say I do understand the wanting to play with the friends. It definitely
absolutely
makes it more enjoyable than playing with randoms. And so if that's where Zach's coming from, I get it.
Yeah, a lot of times you end up making friends that way through playing games.
Can.
I mean, it just so happens that you and I, for example, we went to the same college, but we never talked to each other, never knew each other. The only way we became friends
for a living.
Yeah, the only way that we became friends was because of other gamer friends. That doesn't, just because we happen to go to the same college, that couldn't be the case. I mean, like, someone on your friends list I might have never spoken to in my life, and I play games with now. Someone that I know, vice versa, or just a random person. It works the exact same way, where all of a sudden you're playing a game online. you realize, oh, here's somebody with a mic, and oh, they seem to know what they're doing. Oh, they're communicating with me, and all of a sudden you're like, you want to keep playing, and then somebody sends a friend request. They ask you to keep playing. I mean, that's just how it works. And some of these relationships are built where they've never met each other the whole time, but they play games, all the time, and it just works. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's built, the online communities. Yeah. But it is. I mean, this day and age where everybody's just stays inside and they don't go out anymore. They don't socialize. It's kind of just what our culture is doing now. But I mean, it's out there if you just want to, look for it.
But Zach, if they ask you to send them gift cards to still be your friend, or if they tell you, hey, we should meet at my house, don't do those things.
I mean, pictures, don't accept pictures or send.
Don't do that.
Wouldn't recommend it.
So I only play games. Either that or invest in some heavy single player games.
Well, I was going to say this too about the being worth it either. He's specifically talking about the online games, but you've got games like Uncharted 4, which is $60 game. That's really like a one playthrough type game. I mean, I kind of went back to it just to mess around with it because I still have it. But I platinumed the game, so I did literally everything you can do. This new standalone, I was going to say DLC, but it's like a standalone addition to it, is new. But I mean, that happens all the time with those single player games. You buy them and you're done.
Yeah. That's where you can get like Fallout 4, where there is way more than $60 worth of content there.
Yeah,
you could spend hours and hours.
But a game where you play online and you have access to millions of people at any time during the day or night. It just depends on how you look at it as to whether or not it's worth it.
Hopefully that helps, Zach. I know you're waiting for us to tell you so you would know what to do next.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is from Nate Perkins. This is going to be quick. Unfortunately, he asked if any of us have played the player versus player in the Crucible 2 beta, which the Destiny 2 beta came out this past weekend. It was early for pre-orders, and then on Saturday, I believe it became available to anybody that wanted to play. They have since extended the beta through tomorrow, Tuesday, the 25th, when this podcast is released in audible form, and you can still go play that. I did play the Destiny 2 beta. I only was able to play through the story mode and did not get a chance to visit the farm or visit the Crucible, either do Control or the other game mode, or do the Strike, which I really wanted to do. Dave and I may try to do that Strike tonight, and maybe we'll live stream it so you can watch us play it. So no, I did not get a chance to do the player versus player. I'm hearing some good things. I know Nate, the way it sounded like he's really excited for Destiny 2, and that seems to be the general thought process I'm getting or hearing from people that are playing, is they're looking forward to Destiny 2 more now after playing than they did before. So you didn't get a chance to play any of the beta, is that correct?
No, I have not downloaded it yet. I was on the road, and I just haven't gotten around to downloading it yet. I'm actually looking at it now to see if I can download it, so after we play, it'll be downloaded, or after we do the podcast. But I don't see it. How did you download it?
You just searched it in the store. It was available for free, Destiny 2 beta.
Because I typed in Destiny 2, and all I see is Deluxe. I don't see the beta.
Maybe that's not available to download anymore, just if you had it, but that doesn't make sense either. I don't know.
No.
So stay tuned next week, Nate. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about that a little bit. I'll try to play a match or two, even if Dave isn't able to download, just so you can talk about it. So, all right, next we have a question from Clint Dale. He wants to know, how in the world do you connect an actual Super Nintendo to a current new television, HD TV? What the heck does he need to do this? So I happen to have an actual old school Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's even starting to yellow a little bit in the area where it used to be a light gray. And I happen to still have a tube TV, like a 30-inch tube TV. It is freaking heavy. And that one's real easy to plug in because it has all the things that you need. So when you want to go to an HD TV or flat screen or whatever you want to call it, high-def TV these days, new TV, there's a few different ways you can do it. If it has an S cable where you can screw the little gray box into it. I think it's an RF cable is what it's specifically called. That will work. You can screw it right in. It's not the greatest picture. Probably the poorest option you have, but you can do that. You also can get a component cable adapter. The SNES did not come with one of these, but you can buy them in probably GameStop, any used like small game store, Amazon. I think I saw one on Amazon or eBay for like $6 or $7. And it basically is the same plug to the back of your Super Nintendo, and it splits off into the red, yellow, and white cables. And then a lot of them will also have the blue, green, and orange. And so you can use that adapter and plug that straight into the component plugs in the back of your TV. The only way that I'm familiar personally to do the HDMI part is with one of the classics that actually have an SNES or have a HDMI port on them. I'm sure there are splitters or adapters where you can do that, but I am unfamiliar personally with that. So get a component adapter would be the best way to go. Again, $6 or $7 on Amazon or eBay, and yeah, you can play it on your huge HDMI TV. Thank you, Clint, for that question. Next, we have a question from friend of the show, avid listener, TJ Evans. What's up, TJ? TJ wants to know, how's the Switch performing? So TJ's not necessarily, he travels a lot as well, as does Dave. His question is, how is the Nintendo Switch performing? Will it provide enough new games to keep people engaged or simply fade like the Wii U did? Also, what color shirt is Chad wearing?
I do not think at all that the Switch is going to fade off like the Wii U.
Agreed.
It had an extremely good launch. Its games are, especially The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, selling extremely well. People still want them today and can't get them, although that's becoming less and less an issue. But it's looking really good for the Nintendo Switch. They've got some good games. They just had Splatoon 2 come out. They've got a lot of smaller indie games that are great to play on there. They're about to hit another stride of releases coming here in August with Mario and what is it called?
Mario plus Rabbids.
Mario plus Rabbids.
Something.
Yeah, you've got Super Mario Odyssey coming out later this year. You've got a Yoshi game, a Kirby game, Pokemon game coming. You got Metroid coming down the road. Those are just your standard Nintendo properties. You've got all kinds of other things that are coming out as well. The very ever elusive Virtual Console is somewhere down the line. So that, and I'm having a blast with mine. I mean, I carry mine with me whenever I travel. I play a lot of Zelda and stuff on there. I've got several digital downloads as well. I've been playing it more in my dock since I bought my Pro controller. So yeah, I mean, I think it's performing great. I mean, and I don't think you'll have trouble jumping on Google and finding out the same thing. A lot of people it's still a hot topic to talk about.
Yeah,
on game
it's
sites.
Definitely selling great. Very difficult to find even still. I do believe while Nintendo still makes some pretty bizarre choices and decisions when it comes to things, that part is not gone. But when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, as far as a hardware and a gaming platform with software games to play on it, at least first party, it's great. It's doing well. So if you're wondering if it'll be like the Wii U, I don't believe so. I believe it's caught on, and I believe that the ability to take it wherever you want to go, like David said, is made it unique. And I think we'll give it a long tail when it comes to how well it'll do in the future. And then as far as the shirt goes, the color is green. And let me see if you can. All right, guys. You see that right there? Bonus entry. Bonus entry for the PlayStation 4 giveaway. Tell me what the heck that means. Okay, you're going to have to go to YouTube, audio listeners. Around the 40, probably 8-minute mark. Tell me what that means. And, if you put it in the YouTube comments and everyone else can see, then I guess they get a free entry in as well. You can give other people entries, which that's a way to go. But let us know what that is, what that means, what my shirt means, and you get a bonus entry. You have until the end of day tomorrow on the 25th to do so. So hopefully you listen to it early. All right, there you go. You're welcome, TJ. Thank you for the question. Next, from our good friend, Papa Andy, definite friend of the show, avid listener. Andy wants to know, will Xbox first-party headsets finally be cordless? I believe he's speaking of the imminent release of the Xbox One X. Is that something that only I want? I love my PS Gold wireless headset. I wish Xbox had the same option.
I sure hope so. I was not on, or I don't know why I'm trying to say under the impression. I guess that works. I was under the impression that they had one of these, not necessarily because I thought I saw something, but because it doesn't make sense for them not to have one.
Yeah.
So that's
they don't.
Stupid.
I have a wireless Bluetooth or anything headset, and
did the 360 have? I feel like they did.
Well, you could use. I guess you could use. So, I can't remember.
I've never had to at least plug into your controller. They have to have a wireless plug into your controller, probably. Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it's bizarre, and I hope they do. I would love to. Unfortunately, Andy, I believe the Xbox controller, like the ones that are going to be coming with the Xbox One X, which will be the newest console, they're going to be the same controllers. So I don't know how, and there's no Bluetooth in those controllers, and so you're going to have the same plugs, the same 3.5 millimeter cable, and I don't think they will. I think can't you go Astro and use like a receiver with an Astro headset and thereby do wireless that way? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question for sure. But as far as first-party Xbox One headsets, until they changed the proprietary plug and cable, and you had to get the adapter when they first came out, I don't see them going wireless until they change that. And obviously, we know PlayStation has Bluetooth, and that works great for them. As you mentioned, you have one like that. It's a bummer because wires suck. It's 2017. Mm-hmm. Wires from our heads to the controller. It's just not something that should happen. But unfortunately, in my opinion and my limited knowledge, I don't believe that'll happen anytime this year. Anyway, unfortunately. Thank you, Andy, for the question. A couple more here. We have a question from Twitter from Carlos Rivera. He wants to know, back on the Atari 2600, he played a basketball game. He says, the ball is square and there's no three-point line. Why? And, I mean, pixels is the reason the ball was square.
Interesting. So, more interesting question, Carlos, would be, why do you think it would be? What do you think it would be like looking like a today's basketball game? I don't understand the question there. Yeah, you couldn't make circles back then.
No, pixels are square. The rectangle.
Did you ever play the Adventure? Your character was literally a square.
Yeah.
Now, in his defense, 2017 or 2016 PS4 playing Thomas is Alone, your character are also squares and rectangles.
Versions.
So, I mean,
old is new again. Old is new again.
Right.
And as far as the 3-point line not being there, well, Carlos, back then, when you were just, in your mid-30s, back when the Atari 2600 was out, the 3-point line didn't exist in basketball yet. So that has been invented since the Atari 2600 came out, and that's why there was not one there. Everything was 2 points, no matter where you shot it from. Oh, there you go. Glad we can answer that question for you, Carlos. Moving on. Finally, not really a question, more a topic. But Corey Estep wants to know, doesn't want to know. He just said, topic, Far Cry 5.
Topic,
Far Cry 5. So
guess what, Corey? You're in luck. We did an episode back a ways, episode 119, which I believe is called something about Jason. Can't remember what it's called. What does Jason say? Where we talked pretty extensively about Far Cry 5. And Chad and I discussed this just prior to starting the podcast. And I think you might be alluding to the setting of the game as far as the United States setting and what looks to be like a cultish, conservative, far right-wing extremist enemy and how that's going to play out in the game. When I first heard about it, just in a nutshell, what we discussed, I think that really seemed like they were starting to tread in that area. It really did seem like at their E3 presentation that they backed off of that a little bit. Or at least wanted us to see that it's still the regular Far Cry game where everything's crazy and you're blowing stuff up and you're just going around having fun. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I haven't heard anything else specifically about the story and that particular topic. I'm looking forward to playing it. That's for sure. I've enjoyed all the Far Cry games that I have played. I don't think I think I've only played like 2 on. Maybe it was only 3 on. I can't remember. But
Far Cry is known for their very, very charismatic villains, at least lately. Yeah. Far Cry 3 had Voss. Far Cry 4 had Pagan Min. Characters that you like to hate, but they're really good characters and very, very out there. And I would be surprised if this game is any different. We've got a American enemy. We're not in Tibet. We're not in some tropical island. We're in America.
I still think you're gonna like it. I mean, the enemy is your pastor, but
no. They're definitely they're definitely setting this up to be like a cult type environment, similar to, you could name a few from the America that we've been in our past that we've had. And there's some crazy wackos out there. Maybe that this fits into who they are. But I think it's like Dave said, it's going to be about the shooting and the running around and the crazy things that happen. And obviously the character that is the bad guy will play a part in the role and or in the game, and hopefully make it interesting and tell an interesting story. But honestly, it doesn't need to be super interesting. It just needs to be fun. It needs to be fun to shoot things and blow up water towers and crazy stuff. So Far Cry 5, if you'd like to hear more about what we thought about it, you can definitely go back to episode 119 and hear us probably talk a little bit more extensively about Far Cry 5. So there we go. Those are the listener questions that we have on the docket for this week. Every single one of you, and even those that we did not get to, if there are any of those, you've earned an entry into the PlayStation 4 just for submitting the question. Thank you for doing so. You have one more week to do so. If you have not got a question in or a topic, please get us one, and we'll bring it up next week. That's going to bring us into what we've been playing lately. We'll briefly go through the rest of these. We talked a little bit about this. I did play some of Destiny 2 beta minutes ago. Lots of fun. I played through the story mode, picked a Warlock, and I enjoyed it. The shooting is great. The gameplay is fantastic. There definitely feels like there's going to be more story. It felt more environmental. I'm looking forward to playing this. I was beforehand. I am more so now. I would like to find a couple more. I know Dave and I are going to play. I don't know if anyone else on our core group of, that we play Friday the 13th or Overwatch or anything with will be getting it. But I would like to have a raid group that we can, plan and count on doing the raid. We're not going to try to do world's firsts or any of that jazz. But, it would be nice to schedule something and actually experience that part of the game. So as a group, I know will be some matchmaking involved, but I'd like to do as a group. And then we also played some Friday the 13th. And then I was able to play a little bit of Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. I got that on the Xbox One back when it first came out. And my 11-year-old son played through it in like 2 days without me. We played one mission together. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fun. I went to work, and he basically finished it while I was away. I came home. He's like, yeah, I'm almost done. I'm like, what? We're supposed to play it. We're supposed to play it together. Dad, it's the father, son. And he's like, yeah, they couldn't wait. So sorry. And so I didn't get to experience it. I mean, I could have gone through and played it on my own again, I guess, but I didn't experience it. So I picked it up on the cheap on the PlayStation 4 and have played through the story. As most Lego games are, relatively straightforward platinum. So that's my plan with that game, is platinum that. And then finally, we played That's You with the community, as Dave mentioned earlier, with a couple of our listeners. And that was a ton of fun. I laughed real loud. I realized on the YouTube video from the PlayStation camera, the laughs real loud. And sorry about that. If you listen to it, it's loud. I'll do better.
Is it really? Over top of everyone else?
I don't know. Well, yeah, because it's taking from my feed. Like, it's almost like where it gets so loud that it's just like a screeching noise. It's not
really
sound.
Oh, that's
yeah, a couple points. I feel bad, so I'll have to lower my volume in that going forward. So comments, you're loud if you want. And again, get you an entry to free PS4.
Wait, we're giving away a free PS4?
Who said that?
Are you really wanting an answer? I thought you were just going to move on.
No. My segue was what have you been playing this week, Dave?
Oh, I must not have heard that part. I also played That's You.
I guess not.
I also played Friday the 13th. So I'm not going to talk about those. We had a lot of fun on both of those. Go check out that stream. Get yourself an entry into the giveaway. I did play more of Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, specifically the Trial of the Sword, which is not easy. For those of you thinking of jumping into it, it is not easy. There is, from what I understand, areas that after you make it so far, you can sort of save it there. I have not made it to one of those areas yet. I have died every time I've tried to get there, and you have to start over at the beginning. I will say I got to maybe, I don't know, level 9. Okay. I think level like 6 or 7. There's a level in there where I thought, oh, maybe this is where I get to save. Didn't get to save. Maybe I didn't try to save. Maybe you can save in it. It never gave me the option. But there is.
I think it's level.
15. I heard it was like a level 11 or 10 or something. I don't know. Okay. Or 12. I don't know. One of those. But when I came out to a level where it wasn't an actual battle level. It was just a short little level where there was 3 chests over here. And like some fish in the little pond, and then you can get some apples. Place to cook, kind of a place for you to get your bearings, and before you go back into it. I went back into it, made another level or so, and then got killed. I got to the point to where I feel like it wasn't my fault. I feel like this is kind of like, I'm just saying it's kind of like a trial and error thing, but your error is really punished because you have to start all the way over again, where I didn't know that the enemy was going to one-shot me until it did. So it's kind of like, I mean, how was I didn't know. I didn't let him hit me on purpose, but it was kind of like, okay, that really sucks because I have to try to get through 9 of these things again. So I love doing it. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. And then I took advantage of the free PS Plus game, one of the free PS Plus games for this month, which was Until Dawn from Supermassive Games, which I really enjoyed the first time. I think it might have been the first PS4 game, other than, which I don't consider this a PS4 game, but the first thing I ever played on my PS4 was Super Star Wars, the thing you got, little pack, which is a SNES game. But Until Dawn was the first legitimate PS4 game I played before I got into Uncharted 4. And I'm trying to get the platinum on it this time around. So I have to play through it a couple different times, or at least finish it. There's trophies for finishing the game with only the girls surviving. There's trophies for only the guys surviving. There's trophies for all of them dying at the end. There's trophies for all of them living at the end. Collectible trophies, for all kinds of these collectibles, and then there's trophies for certain people dying certain ways. So I've surpassed like 80 or so % of the trophies. I have to go back, and I just made it through where all of them survived, and I have to go back and kill all of them, which I think will be a little bit more fun. But yeah, that game is it's just a really well done horror game. It was like absolutely, beautiful as far as, it's gore and gruesome, so it's not beautiful in that sense, but the game just looks spectacular. The setting is good. They do just a really good job of scaring you and the jump scares and all that stuff. So if you haven't got that game, it's free right now. Go ahead, download it on PS4 and play it. I recommend it. That's all I've been doing this week.
All right. So there we go. That's what we've been playing this week. Next, that brings us into the news that you can use
if you so choose to do so.
All right. The news this week also, as always, is brought to us by our good friend
Abaco. I just realized that it might be weird for people to listen to like that forever. So I'm going to stop.
Just realized that?
I'm going to stop. I could go for like 13 minutes. A lot of the people don't know, listeners, I can hold my breath for like 35 minutes. But I'm not going to do that for you. I mean, at 13 minutes, I would have just got bored and it was stopped. I mean, I never really hold it 35 minutes because there's no real reason to do that unless someone's trying to kill me by putting me in a tank of water. And I always pretend I'm dead because no one thinks you're going to hold your breath that long. And then they'll open it up and
what do you mean always? How many times has this happened? You've been put in a tank of water, someone's trying to drown you.
You'd be surprised.
I'd be very surprised if it was one.
But anyways, I do have a update to make about first-hand supply. And that update
what is your update?
They do not like our catchphrase.
Nope, not at all.
Where did you find that out?
We were playing there Friday the 13th.
Oh, you
was there.
That's right.
Were we threatened with a cease and desist letter? I don't think it got that far, but it was pretty close. So we need a new ad campaign for first-hand supply. They don't like rub your face all up in that.
Well, if that's different.
They don't like that one. Yeah, I mean, they probably wouldn't like that one either.
No.
On your face.
Huh?
That's rub it.
I don't think they like rubbing it on anything.
But that's what you're doing. You're taking the beard oils and you're rubbing it on your face.
Yeah, I don't
literally.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't think they like really talking about what they do with their product. I think they want it to be like first-hand supply, make the world peaceful again.
I don't see how that
with your beard oil, right?
Or marketing really at all.
They want to cover the world in beard oil.
So they want to rub beard oil on the world.
First-hand supply.
Do they want to do it?
First-hand supply. Dip the earth in it.
Okay. Dip the earth. That's different. There's no rubbing involved there.
Right. You're not rubbing.
No. Okay. It's a simple act of it's like a plunge.
It's like doing Easter eggs where you put the egg down in the oil. You bring it up. It looks beautiful. Right? Might even smell perfect.
Yeah, very manly.
Perfect smells like. Yeah, perfect. See, that's the thing about us smelling perfect is it smells the best to whoever's smelling it. Multiple possibilities, Chad. Some would even say limitless. You picking up on my theme here?
I get it. I'm getting it. Yeah.
Limitless.
So first-hand supply.
Dip the world in it.
Boom. You're welcome, Paco. Let us know how that works out. So the news, there's only a few items on here. We have one from BioWare. All the Mass Effect games, including Andromeda. They're making Anthem. They've made Dragon Age. And the studio head, or GM of the studio, Aaron Flynn, who has been there for 17 years, is stepping down from BioWare. And former BioWare employee, head of the Mass Effect trilogy specifically, executive producer, I believe was his title on that, Casey Hudson, is coming back to take over the GM position at BioWare. He has, for the last 3 years or so, been working at Microsoft on their HoloLens stuff. You could read into this with the Andromeda nonsense that happened and how that game just did not live up to the hype or the previous Mass Effect games, and say maybe because that one struggled that Aaron Flynn is leaving, and yay, the guy who made the good ones, the ones we like, is coming back. And that may be part of it, and it could be not part of it at all. We don't know. I don't work there. I don't know what happened in those conversations, but Aaron Flynn is leaving, and Casey Hudson is coming back, and he has a lot of good games under his belt, so he will take over. I doubt that his input will necessarily change what Anthem is. Anthem has been being worked on for quite some time, but he will be there to guide and direct and finish that project up. So good for Casey Hudson. If you like the things he's done, it could be exciting for you. I was happy when I heard about it. So that is a thing that is happening. Next, Doomfist. Do you have anything to add? Okay.
No, I just loved how you ended it. That is a thing that is happening.
Doomfist is the new character coming out on Overwatch. He will be leaving the PTR servers on the PC and join your roster on your PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or PC normal roster on the 27th of July. That's this week.
Cool.
Play as Doomfist. So get back on Overwatch. Get your team playing stuff better. Get ranked. Get ranked in that competitive so you can play as Doomfist.
Or just keep playing if that's what you've been playing.
Do that too. So Doomfist is coming. That'll be fun. Next, Telltale.
Excited about
Makes
this.
a lot of real good games, narrative-driven choice. The way you play will determine the outcome of the game, and so will remember that, is said often. They announced this past week that there are 3 new games coming that they are making. The very first one is the second season of Batman, which will be coming out very soon, August 8th.
Nice.
It'll be the first episode of season 2 of Batman, The Enemy Within. We're getting a lot more Riddler. And a little more friendly with some enemies.
We saw a fully face painted, or however they're doing it, Joker. Didn't we?
Did.
In one of the screenshots.
We put it on our Facebook page. So the first episode of that's coming out August 8th. Next year, 2018, we are getting the final season, wrapping up Clementine's story, The Walking Dead.
I got to get back into the third one. I haven't finished it. Did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did. It's all right. So yeah, that'll be done next year. They didn't give any more specific than the year, but they did say that this will wrap up Clementine's story. It'll be the final season of The Walking Dead. And then maybe the most exciting for a lot of people, Josh has written next to it, yay, Josh. So we knew it was him. The Wolf Among Us.
Yes.
Is getting a second season. Also 2018.
I actually convinced, I was talking to a buddy of mine on the bus this past weekend about Batman and The Wolf Among Us, and I got him so excited about them that he went into a GameStop and bought both season 1 of Batman for Telltale and season 1 of The Wolf Among Us. So I'm excited that he's going to get to experience that, because I very much enjoyed both of those. The Wolf Among Us is just one of my favorites. Might be my favorite Telltale game that I've done.
Interesting.
I really liked it, so I'm really looking forward to the second one.
And Big B is returning. The Big Bad Wolf will be the character, I believe. I don't know if they say he'll be the playable character. I assume, though. And they also did say another character is returning. I won't say who that is because, I mean, it's a spoiler, kind of, that they're coming back as well. Not really, but kind of, so I just won't say. But Big B is coming back. He is making his return. This is shortly after, I don't know, a few months ago, they were saying they probably, if they were to do a second season, it wouldn't involve the characters that they used last time, but involve new ones. But obviously, since then, they've changed their minds, and we're getting Big B.
I didn't read this, so I don't actually know the character you're referring to. But if I had to use my detective skills, aka my Big B Wolf skills, I would have to eliminate someone because this isn't a spoiler, but you would have to eliminate anyone that could die in your playthrough of the first game.
Sure.
Because it would make sense for them to be.
Yeah. Just anyone that hasn't played it, I don't want to give away, like, if there are people that aren't going to die, but you think they might. Oh, well, they won't die, obviously. They'll make it all the way to the end. I don't want to.
Well, then I know who you're talking about.
Okay, then. All right, so that's exciting. Looking forward to that. Batman, we'll play that. I really like the Batman game, too. So, all right, next, Nintendo. A couple Nintendo news. SNES Classic, I was going to talk about that, but we already discussed that in our question segment, so no reason to go over that again. But next, the Switch app. The voice chat app for the Switch is now available. It was available a few days before Splatoon came out, but now that Splatoon is out, you can use the Switch app to voice chat on your Nintendo Switch, and it's real easy. It works great. There's no problems. Do you believe me?
I do not.
Because, yeah, I'm lying. It doesn't work real good. Now, you downloaded it. Were you ever able to sign in and actually do anything?
I signed in, but I didn't see anything I could do.
Okay, I think it may have. You may.
There's only.
I didn't sign in.
Oh, what I have found out and what I read about it is that right now it's currently the only reason to use it is for Splatoon 2.
That's the way I understand as well. So I have not done that. I don't have that game yet. but there are some issues from people that do have it. Obviously, you have to have a splitter. If you just use a headphone and plug it into your phone, so the app is on your phone. It allows you to voice chat with other people in Splatoon. You can't game chat, in the actual game on the hardware. It has to go through a phone. So if you plug your headphones in to the headphone jack on your phone, all you will get is the voice chat. You won't get the game audio. So you will need a splitter, which you can buy Nintendo's, Squid Kid looking one, which will give you a cord that goes. So here you go, Andy. You wouldn't like this. A cable that goes from your phone to your Switch with a splitter in between, and then a cable that goes from your phone to your headset with a splitter in between, so that you can get voice chat and game audio at the same time. Now, the app has to remain open on your phone at all times for voice chat to work. If your phone goes to sleep after, 5 minutes or so, voice chat gone, cuts it off.
You're kidding me.
No, you didn't know this.
No,
if you get a text and you close it, or you just hit the home button to go to the text, cuts it off. If you get a phone call, it'll cut it off, because when a phone call comes up, it interrupts anything. You'll lose it. So, and you'll have to reset up a new chat, a new room. And so it has to remain open. Your phone can't go to sleep. It has to be the priority, number one thing on your phone at all times. If it is not, you lose the voice chat.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Right?
What a failure. How does this happen?
Literally. Nintendo.
How does this happen?
Making Josh look like a genius.
Who needs to be someone? There's people that need to be fired. Straight up lose their jobs at Nintendo. I'm not kidding, because they're doing an absolute terrible job of coming up with ideas.
Part of what this is part of their online program. So it's free for the rest of 2017, but in 2018, you're going to have to pay $20 a year to be able to do this. Can you imagine if they were charging $20 right now to be able to use this broken, unusable, terrible way to voice chat in this game? No wonder it's free for the rest of the year. Hopefully they're patching it. Hopefully they're making adjustments. Hopefully they're making it work like Xbox Live worked on the Xbox OG back in 2002. In 2002, you could do voice chat through your original Xbox over the internet. 15 years ago. And here we are 15 years later in the future. They can put a console in this little small thin thing you can take everywhere, but you can't voice chat. They just haven't figured that part out. It's too difficult.
This is bizarre.
You got to protect the kids.
This truly is bizarre. I mean,
they don't want you to use it.
The way I see this, here's a board meeting, right, at Nintendo, right? You got John over here, like, well, all right, everybody, let's we're gonna put out like a chat system for the Nintendo. We're gonna bounce ideas around here. I want you to give me your best idea for this. John, go. Okay, I was thinking maybe we can follow some of the patterns by the Microsoft and Sony, where we just have it built into our system, and you can plug a headset into it and talk like that. John, I like it. Good idea. Richard, what are you thinking? I was thinking about having 72 different things we can plug in, and I'll have them laying on our laps. Ooh, I really like that idea. John, get your stuff. You're done. Get out. It's like,
that's your thing.
Who? I just don't understand how
I don't know.
else it goes.
They did talk to Reggie Fils-Aimé, head of Nintendo of America, recently about this specific thing, and his answer about the cords and the nonsense and taking it on the go to be able to use chat that way. He says, we wanted to make it simple. Everyone has a phone. We wanted to make it easy, and we didn't want the gamers to be carrying around those big gaming headsets. So if you could just use your earbuds, it'd be so much easier. What?
Guess what? Guess what? You can plug in your earbuds and a microphone into your PS4 controller right now and use those if you want.
That's right. It doesn't have to be a huge gaming headset, does it?
No,
it does not. And imagine if you had to keep your phone open. If you keep your phone open on any app for any amount of time, what's that do to your phone's battery?
Absolutely kills it.
Now, what if you have an iPhone 7 that doesn't have a headphone jack? So you've got to use the dongle, which plugs into the charge port to keep your headset plugged in, which means you can't charge your phone at the same time either, can you?
Nope.
What a pile of poop.
Dumb.
It's just awful. It's just so bad.
Dumb.
So bad.
Dumb.
So you better hope they fix it.
Back to my original point about the not needing the big huge headset. Do you remember the little headset that came with your PS4?
Oh yeah,
it was literally just a one in-ear with a mic attached to the wire that plugged in with just a regular 3.5 millimeter jack or whatever it is, 35 millimeter,
real tiny, fits in a pocket easily.
What is the deal with this?
I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know what world that this is a good idea or how that board meeting shaped out to where that guy got the promotion.
I just feel bad for John, man. He has such good ideas.
Yeah, poor John. He does. He should go work somewhere else. So, hopefully by the time it costs $20 to have this online service, they have a virtual console or some way, because this will not make me pay $20.
What Nintendo
games that I can play, forget it.
Yeah, what Nintendo is proving to us right now is that they got it right with their games on the go thing. Like this whole Switch thing, it really works. People are really excited about it. But they've reminded us that, hey, if you want to play with your friends, get a PS4 or Xbox, because it's not going to happen on our consoles. It's ridiculous.
You know what? But easy. Get your laptop out, get a Skype call going. Get a Google Hangout going. Open a Discord chat. You can do a Discord chat.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, people are going to be doing that because you shouldn't have to do that.
It's easier.
But the only other option is to still have a third-party device.
But even those third-party devices work better than what they want you to be able to do.
I mean, let's think about it this way. Now, they're trying to protect the kids or whatever they're trying to do. And I understand it's 2017. My kids are 10, 8, and 5. And they play on tablets, and my son has a phone or whatever. But not every kid has a cell phone. You have to have a cell phone to talk to anybody. Right. Like if I want to play with my kids, if I'm on the road or whatever, and I can't if they don't have a phone. There's just so many things wrong with this from the start, even before we learned this garbage. Just the idea that you had to plug it in like that, and this whole thing they came out with the, I mean, I can't talk about it anymore. I can't.
You're right. Nope. Yep. Fair enough. Probably a good thing Josh isn't here. He would, his vein would be sticking out up here. See what I'm saying? And he wouldn't be wrong. He would be 100% right. All right, so that's all the news we have for this week. It's going to bring us into our new releases brought to us by our good friend Andy and his last-minute word of the day. Let me bring up the actual definition here. Before what? Hold on. Google says I don't know what that word is.
Oh, gosh.
Let me check his email. No, that's what he's... Hold on.
Are you sure it didn't start with another letter?
And in his email, it does not.
Because it's right next to the letter that was used to start the word.
I'm assuming that it's misspelled.
Okay. Because the other one is interesting. Now, of course, since I looked it up as well, I now know
That's fine.
What the definition is.
Word of the day.
Now, the word that we were given was hardy-loo. But there's no word on the internet. It was actually saying, did you mean Gardy-loo with a G? Now, the G and the H are right next to each other. We're thinking maybe a typo. So we're going to go with Gardy-loo since there is no definition for hardy-loo. This is an obsolete word, number one, from Scotland. And it was used by servants in medieval Scotland to warn passers-by of waste about to be thrown from a window into the street below. Now,
that's great.
Now, let me explain to you folks what waste is in the context of this definition. Poop.
Yeah.
Human waste. When they would throw the stuff down on the street because they didn't have toilets and didn't have, poop receptacles in their house. So there's nowhere to put this.
Toilets. Those are called toilets.
So I already said toilet, so I had to come up with something else because I said or this.
You can use the word again. I mean,
so yeah, they just, I guess, open the window and say,
"Gardy!" Means look out for the poo.
Yeah. And all of a sudden there's a big splash. You got to jump back. Make sure you're not getting a little bit of that stuff on you because those are expensive shoes. Back then,
pink eye.
In the 1930s, 1940s. The term was still in use as late as the 1930s and 1940s when many people had no indoor toilets.
So look out for the Gardy Loo. That'll get you.
There you go. Gardy Loo.
60% of the time it works every time. All right. So the new release is brought to us by Papa Andy and Gardy Loo. Dave, do you want to read through these right quick?
Sure. For the PS4, Xbox One, and PC on July 25th, is what I'm going to assume is pronounced the Avon Colony.
Seems legit to me.
Don't know anything about that game, but that's going to be available for you on the 25th. Also on the 25th, the Xbox One and the PC is Fable Fortune.
Card playing.
On the 25th for the Switch, you're going to be able to get Fate Extella, the Umbral Star, for Switch users.
I believe that's out on other platforms already.
I'll be looking at that. Also on July 25th for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC is Fortnite Paid Early Access. So I've seen Fortnite advertised on my PS4. It looks like maybe a team shooter.
Yeah, it's from Epic Games. It's been announced since like 2013. It's finally kind of coming out, maybe. It's got a little bit of Minecraft, a little bit of tower defense, and a little bit of shooting.
Oh, how about that? July 25th for you folks on those platforms. Also, July 25th for the PS4 and the PC is Pyre, which is coming straight at you on July 25th, wrapping up that day.
Real good scores, Pyre.
On July 28th, towards the end of the month, we got Miitopia for the 3DS, which sounds like something I would stay away from. I could be wrong. I don't like those me things. I'm not really a big fan. But whatever. That's coming out for the 3DS on July 28th, and then rounding out the month on the same day for the 3DS is Hey Pikmin, which is something I really hope we'll see on the Switch eventually because I'd like to give that a shot, and I like more Switch games. So those are your new releases for this week and next.
Bada bing, bada boom. All right, well, I think that's going to about do it for the podcast this week. We were going to do 20 questions. It was Dave's turn to do 20 questions, and Josh put out a guess before he left and went and watched Wonder Woman. He put in his guess that says, is it Superman 64? Was that correct?
No, so unfortunately, you guys lose. He broke our streak.
So we lost this week.
Good job, Josh, not coming on the podcast and breaking our winning streak.
Yeah.
By submitting
enjoying Wonder Woman.
Yes.
So that's going to do it. I will mention we are part of the SiouxEmpire.com podcast family, other South Dakota podcasters that podcast various other information. There's the Sioux Empire podcast actually had some government city officials on the podcast here recently. Definitely worth a listen if you're in the South Dakota Sioux Falls area. But that's going to do it for this week. Thanks, as always, for stopping by on the YouTube channel. If you were able to stop by and say hello and watch us for a bit, or if you download the podcast, we do appreciate you doing so. Remember, we have one more week to get the questions in to win the PS4. We will get to those next week. That's all I really have. Until next week, we'll see you then.
Until next week, we'll see you then. Great.
I need a better outro.
Great piece of, pizza quesadilla. What I had today. Had too much of it. Stomach's rumbling a little bit. Might have to yell Gardy Lou in a little bit. I'm just saying.
Okay, stop the recording.
Right out loud. Why is this?
I need a good outro. You know, I thought about doing It's Been Our Pleasure to Serve You, but I wanted to steal someone else's. So that's this.
Right. I wonder how many people. Oh, hey,
thanks
YouTube.
for watching.